Hello, this is Mr. Bush. I made this screencast to show you a little bit more about the terminal window. Last week I came on Monday and I walked the class through the terminal window, and we had a little trouble because the screen itself was dim, so it was hard to see what I was typing. It was also kind of hard to hear, and the people who came on Wednesday didn't get the benefit of hearing of it. So I decided to do a screencast, and you could watch it on your own time. And actually, what I recommend you do, if you aren't doing it yet, is to go ahead and open up a virtual machine, a Linux virtual machine, get yourself all logged in, and then actually try the commands and things that I am going to show you. So if you haven't done that, go ahead and pause, and then go ahead and get that started, and then restart. Okay, so we're back. I'm using the virtual image from the practice image that you guys tried out last Friday in our practice competition. So it would give it a little bit more realness. First thing I'm going to do, though, is pretty much just go ahead and open up the terminal window. It's under Accessories and Terminal. Okay, so if you have gotten your terminal window up, great. You can hit return a few times. Take a look at what you see. This in front of the @ sign, that's the way it's set up right now, is to show the user. So we are C. Xavier. Taco Clock is the name of the host or the machine, and this little tilde here represents what your current directory is. Tilde refers to your home directory. So what I'm going to do is type your first Linux command, and that is ls. So ls is just a file listing. So you can see there's a bunch of blue things and a white thing. Well, in this case, blue refers to a directory. So it's just a visual cue to tell you what's a directory. So if you were to go up here under Places and go to Home folder, this is actually just showing the same stuff in a command line interface that you see when you're using the browsing interface. So there you see there's desktop, downloads, music. So those are all folders. There's examples.desktop right here. You can see it's a link. All right, now we're going to continue on the terminal note. Now I'm going to type in ls -la. Now what that shows you is a lot more information, and it can be a little overwhelming at first with all this information. Like, what is all this stuff? Well, I'll show you a few things that are pretty helpful. One is, well, you saw the coloring. Coloring meant it was a directory. The D in front also indicates directory. L means it's a link, means it's basically like a shortcut. The dash means it's a file. So one thing that you'll notice is that over here we only saw, and also when we first did our listing, we only saw these files. But when you list it with the -la, you'll see all the files with these dots in front. The dots in front is sort of like having hidden files in Windows. It doesn't show up automatically. You have to ask to see it. So that's tried to hide some of the system information, things that you don't normally want to see. So I showed you the first character was the D, meant directory, and L was a link. What do these stand for? RWX, and then there's R-X and R-X. Actually, those are the permissions on the file or directory. So when you have RW, that's read write, and then X is execute. And it gets into, when you're doing execute, it's usually for when you're going to run a program or a script, but it also could mean you have access to be able to go to a directory. So like in this case, read write execute is permissions for all. Down here, this one is read write. Only the first one is written. There's no execute, and it's just the first three. Well, these groups of three are actually user, that's me, or the person who's logged in, Then the center group 3 is the group, and then the last 3 is all other users, so anyone basically. So you can see that some of these files are visible to anyone, like the music directory. So if I was logged in as a different account, then I could still see these files for this person. But you could not see or execute or whatever this .macromedia file unless you were logged in as the person or as a super user. So that's great. I just taught you something about LS and showed you how you can get a lot of information quickly. Now you may actually want to know, like, well, what are the other commands? Well, it turns out there's a handy command called the man command in Linux. So I'm going to type man ls, and man is just manual pages. So here it is. It's saying the ls command, and these are all the different things. So I did a -a because I did a -la, and I did a -l too. So let's scroll down here a little bit farther, and L, use a long listing format. There's a whole bunch of other things, and you can feel free to try them all out. But a couple things you want to see is there's some other information, usually at the bottom, and then there's a C also. So you can go to do these different things to get more information. All right, I'm just going to hit Q. All right, so that's man ls. What if you need to know how the man pages work? Well, you can type man. So this is a manual page on the manual command. There's a whole bunch of different options here, but most of the time you just type man and you see the pages. The output stops every page, and you can hit the space bar and see the next page, or you can just hit Q and it goes away. So man and ls. So let's do something else here. I told you that this tilde right here represents the current working directory. Well, to get around in the directories from the command line, use the cd command. So we're going to go to cd, or let's go to documents. Now you see it shows that it's tilde/documents. The slash means a different layer in the hierarchy of the directories. So let's see if there's anything in there. Oh, I didn't see anything. So it looks like that directory is empty. And if you were to go over here and go into documents, sure enough, it's empty. But there may be some hidden files. You might want to see if there's any dot files there. So if you do it ls -la, you see, oh, there's two files in there. Well, actually, they're not files. They're directories. And then if you realize it, this is a special kind of thing in Linux. Dot actually just means the current directory. So there isn't really a directory there. It just means this directory. So if you go cd to dot, you don't go anywhere. You just keep staying in the same place. If you go cd dot dot, oh, where'd we go? We went up a level. And you can see because the documents is gone and we're back to where we were. Now, what if we keep going dot 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 dot? Okay, whoa, now where are we? Home/home. Let's do an ls. Okay, you can see all these different folders here. Now, my folder, it seems, is C Xavier. That's my home directory. So these are all the directories for other users on there. And if you read through the README file, for example, for this one, you would see the accounts that actually belong. Some of these accounts probably don't belong here. So you'll either use somewhere up here to delete those accounts or whatever. But we're just covering the command line and terminal window today. So I showed you the cd command, and I showed you ls. Let's do an ls -l just to see. if there's anything else in there. Nope, just the two directories the same, the dot and the dot dot. You can see all the permissions. And why does it list these two names, you might ask? Well, this is the group and the owner. So in the case of the my folder, C Xavier, this shows who owns that file based on the username. You can see that these directories allow everyone to see them. So that's why when I do an ls, I can see all of these things. And one command I didn't teach you yet was pwd, that's print working directory. That gives the path of the directory where you're at. Now you can see we're at /home. Now every time there's a slash, it's another level lower on the hierarchy. So if we go cd ... and we do ls, print working directory, you can see we're at the top level. There's nothing higher. This is called the root level. So just like the root of a tree, this is as high as you can go. Now, what happens if you just type cd by itself? Well, looks like it took us back to our home directory. Let's type pwd. Sure enough, cd by itself just takes you back to your home directory. Now what if I wanted to go to the home directory of Peter Parker? Well, because the tilde symbol represents the home directory, so if you put tilde and then put in front the name of the user, then you'll go to that person's home directory. So let's go to cd tilde Parker, Peter Parker. There we go. We're now in his directory. We can go cd to tilde T Stark. Now we're in his directory. How do you learn all these little tricks and the meaning? Well, part of it is going through the man pages. Part of it may be to get a book on Linux. But there's also another thing you can do. You can actually use the man page for two things. The shell, so let's do man bash. So that's the born again shell and gives you some information on how the shell works. You can also go you can also look at the bottom of that for, you can see this is quite a long one, gives you a lot of the different shell options. Lots of lines. So just reading through it, there's just a lot of detail about things you can do and how it works. So let's say that you find that there's a file that doesn't belong. You're in Tony Stark's directory and you're looking, you go, okay, you don't see anything unusual here, but maybe he's got something in his movies or videos. Sorry. Oh, there's a file there, an MP4 file. So a lot of times when you're looking, and it's almost in every image that we've seen for Cyber Patriots, they want you to delete unauthorized MP3 or MP4 files, media files. So I'm going to just try to delete this. I am still logged in as C Xavier, but I'm going to try and delete it. Let's do an ls-la. Okay, so it's owned by Tony Stark. It shows it's readable by me, but we don't have the right permissions, so that means we probably can't delete it. So I'm going to try it anyway. rm, that's for remove, star.mp4. If I use a star, it's a wildcard. Basically, it says anything that ends with .mp4. Okay, it says you want me to remove it? I go yes. It says cannot remove, permission denied. Oh darn. Well, fortunately, there's a way to become a super user and execute things as if you were the root, which has all the permissions. And that's the sudo command, or sudo, depending on who you talk to. So let's do a man on sudo first. All right, there, execute command as another user, blah, blah, blah. Okay, hit Q. Let's do sudo rm star.mp4. Let's ask for a password. And this one, for this one, is mutants5life. And it's gone. The file's gone. Yay. Now, if you want to know more about the remove command, don't forget you have the man command for that. Man rm. All right. There's a lot of options here. Like sometimes when you're removing, you want to remove a file. Sometimes you want to remove a directory, and sometimes you want to remove files and directories. So there are some options here for doing that. The -r recursive is where it will just keep deleting every file and every directory below the point that you say. Let's see. I kind of told you what the star meant, which means replace everything with something, but really this is this can be found. The specific way you use that can be found inside another command, and that's the grep command. So man grep. Oh, we just got points, probably because we deleted that MP4 file. Yay! All right, so here's the grep command, and what we're looking for. Oh yeah, and when you're using the help or the man command, you can use a slash. If you type slash, you can do search for things. So I'm going to just put a star. Oh, slash regular expression. So when you put a slash in, then it finds in that command the things that you're looking for. So then I'll hit N for next, 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 next. There it is. Now, right up here at the top, you can see it says there's a repetition. Question mark is just only one thing. Star is 0 or more things. For example, like question, I can go, well, first let's go back to my home directory, cd, ls -la. Let's say I just want to have everything that starts with a .g, so I can go ls dot question mark or dot g. Sorry. When you use a question mark, it's a single character. So dot question mark conf. And what it did was it lists the contents of the .gconf because there's only one file. But if I do ls.g star, then it lists the contents of each of the directories and it lists the files, all that start with G. You'll use wildcards a lot. Let's see. Another command that's handy is the move command, which is like renaming, or can be renaming. Because really when you're moving files around, you can change the name or you can move it to a different directory. So let's do ls-la. So just temporarily, let's move the one of these files to something else. Let's move the examples.desktop to something else. Move examples.desktop to examples.desktop.save. Oops. Oh, I don't know why I had 2 in there. There we go. If you would have done the man command, you would have known man mv. You have a source file, source, and a direct destination. So ls-la, I've just renamed that file to examples.desktop.save. If I go I can remove it back. Move examples.desktop .save to examples desktop. Ta-da! It's back to where it was. Another thing you should know is that a lot of times we're trying to find processes that are running within Linux. Or within Windows, a lot of people know about the command to show what programs are running, so you can kill a process or you can stop. You can do something similar here for Linux, and that's the ps command. So remember, you can always do man ps to find out. It's a process list. So let's do ps -ef and then hit return. Whoa, that scrolled right off the edge of the screen. Well, fortunately you can scroll back and kind of look, but these are all the processes that are currently running. And they all have process IDs. The very first process that ran, got process ID at number 1, is the init. That's the boot process. It kind of just gives them numbers in order as it's kicking them off. So these processes are running, and I can kill a process if I want, one of those processes, and using the kill command. One day when we'll show you how to brick your computer, we'll show you all the kinds of things that are going on. They're the way you can kill processes. There's one called Whoopsie. Wonder what that is, right? The SSH agent. These are all things that are running. So if you if you were looking for a keylogger program or some other kind of evil program, it would be running as a process here. Like, I'm not sure what this mission control thing is. Maybe that's something fishy. Not sure. It also, though, could be part of what's running for the Cyber Patriot. So, shouldn't willy-nilly kill things. Or just recognize if you do, you might actually cause a problem. And even then, the last process that was run was the PS process. That's the process we just kicked off to list this listing. So there's another one, the service command. Service. Service status all. So this shows all the running services. And there's something that is a handy little shortcut you can use too. If you were saying, oh, what was that command I just typed? You can use the up arrow and go back to previous commands. So you see me clicking up, up, up. Each time I'm looking at a different command that I did before. And you can go down and it goes forward. So there's the command I just ran. And there's the start of where I ran it, and then these are all the things. This would be a place where you could maybe decide to stop a process that doesn't belong to be running, shouldn't be running. For this particular one, they wanted us to make sure SSH was running. So we definitely don't want to stop SSH. That's the secure shell. I'm going to leave you with one other command. There's lots of stuff to learn in this. Obviously, we can't cover it all. But one command that I really like is the find command. Find allows you to go through all the files and find files. So we're in our home directory right now, right? Well, let's go all the way up to the top. All right, so we're cd/, so that's the top level folder. Now I'm going to type in this find command. Now first, actually though, I know because I'm logged in as C Xavier, I'm only going to have permission to find certain files. So, because if I can't read the files, I can't exactly find them. So I'm going to run this using sudo, and then I'm going to type find dot, it's the location I'm starting at. So dot is the current working directory. My minus name. So now I'm looking for a particular name. I'm going to use a wildcard, star dot. Let's look for MP3 files. We found an MP4, but maybe there's MP3s. And then minus print. And what it'll do is it'll scour through all the files and try to find anything in any directory, in any file that ends with .mp3. So it's cruising. Oh, there's some. Mordecai has some files. And they look like files of classical music. Okay, so that's all that we found that ended in .mp3. Well, that's kind of good. That means that there isn't other hidden ones. Remember, we ran this as sudo, so we have permission to see everything. So we can go to Mordecai's directory, cd tilde Mordecai. Okay, we're now in his directory. Print working directory, yep. And it was inside his music folder. There they are. So let's delete those. rm star.mp3. Oh, we can't because we don't have permission. Let's override that using sudo rm star.mp3. Okay, they're gone. I think. Yep, all gone. So we found two types of forbidden files. We found that MP4 and then these MP3 files. And if I would have ran that command at the very beginning, I could have done used a wildcard and found all those MP3 and MP4 files very quickly without having to go into each directory to find them. So let's go to the cd to this top directory again. Let's do that command again. Of course, we won't find anything because they're all gone, but I'll show you what the command is. Sudo find dot minus name. Now in this case, we're going to go star dot mp, and then now we're going to do a question mark. And the question mark means a single character. So MP4, MP3, MP1, MPP, whatever, and we'll do minus print. Oh, MPI. Oh, those are looks like they're media player sounds, and it's just in the share folder. It's an MPG file. Scroll back here, see if there's anything that looks suspicious. No, it looks like it's all media player info files and this other one, this MPG. I wonder what that is. Maybe it's evil. Okay, I think that's about it for today. Oh, actually, let me do couple more things. Let's go back to our home directory and ls-la. There's that examples.desktop file. Well, we kind of want to see what's in it. So I'm just going to do the command called cat. And cat is basically just dump the contents of the file. So I'll do example, and I'll start to type, and then what I'll do is I'll just hit escape twice. And you notice how it finished it? What it'll do is it'll try to match up any files in the directory up to a certain point. In this case, that was the only file in it. So we'll do cat and see what's in it. Oh, lots of different languages. And well, what if we wanted to edit this for some reason? Well, you can go up to the applications and run the editor, which is under text editor, or we can just do gedit and examples dot, I'm going to hit escape again, desktop. We're opening up the file, and now you can actually edit this file. Now if I don't have permissions to it, then I can't edit it. But for a lot of times the system file, you may need to edit some system files to turn on certain things. You can use the gedit command, Or you can use other commands. There's one called VI, man VI. VI is a really old school editor, and some people love it that have used it for many years, but it's a little bit confusing how it works. But that's another option. So you can go VI examples.desktop. In this case, you can go and edit on the screen like that. Now the funny thing is, like, you can't just start typing, it won't work. You have to hit I for insert, and then you can type some stuff, and you hit X for delete. Oh, there, see, I'm messing it up already. DD for delete a line, X, so it's back to where it was. :Q for quit. Oh, :Q exclamation point. All right, that's an example of VI, another editor. I thought I was done, but I want to teach you one other thing too. There's an echo command. Echo Bob is great. All it does is spits it right out to the screen. You'd be like, well, what's the help in that? Let me do it again. Bob is great. Well, one reason for the echo thing is a way of putting something into a file. So I can do echo. I'll just use the up arrow. Now I'm going to put this into a file. So this is one form of pipe. It's pipe to a file. The little symbol of a greater than. Now you can put it as my new file dot text. Now if you remember the command cat my new file, there it is. It's inside the file. Then you can do this. Let's do echo again, and then still the same. Now you can also do append to a file too. And you see when you do a double of it, it appends it. So I'm going to do it again. Now we have it 3 times. So you can see if you want to send some information to a file, like let's do this, ps -ef, and you can send that to a file, processes.txt. Then you can do more processes.txt. And you have all the information into a file. So sometimes you might want to like search a file or open it in an editor or something, so you can dump the results of a command into a file. So there's my so if I do ls*.txt, you can see there's my 2 files that I created. I think that's all for now. I hope you had fun. We will do how to brick your computer at some point in the future, but good luck to you in your exploration of the Linux world.